I wake up to the same old fight, chasing shadows in the night. Promises made, but I let them fade. Caught in the cycle, I'm feeling betrayed. Round and round, I'm losing ground. Trying to break free, but I can't see. These negative patterns are haunting me. Nights turn to days, I'm losing my way. Thought I found peace, but it's led me astray. Chasing the high, but it only brings pain. The more I run, the less I gain.
Hey everybody, hey, and welcome to another session of Taureca Said Again. One of the most common addictive patterns passed down from generation to generation is not always substance abuse or drugs. It can be emotional absence, abandonment, lack of communication, and unhealthy relationship dynamics. Now, last week we talked about the familial dynamics, or simple terms, the family dynamics. We talked about the attachment relationship, the bond between a child and a mother or father. And today specifically, we want to talk about the absence of a father. Because, just 2 weeks ago, when I was saying, fathers, get your household together, it didn't matter if you was with the woman or not. Household could be literal as well as figuratively. So when I say get yourself together or get your household together, it could be internally. What does that look like for you? Are you doing the work? What's going on within? What does that house look like within? Mentally, psychologically. When a father is absent, some children may grow up struggling with feelings of rejection, low self-esteem, or self-worth, trust issues, emotional insecurities, or maybe just a constant need for validation, always running or looking to someone else for the love that they missed out on. And in my book, I give you statistics on how the school dropout rate, there's an increase when a parent isn't present. There's a drug abuse increase when a parent isn't present. There's pregnancy rate increase when a parent isn't present. And we can go on. Mothers, I'm talking to you as well. If you're not present in your child's life, involved in your child's life and activities, I'm talking to you, but more specifically, we're dealing with fathers today. Getting back to the absence of a father, there's many facets to this. You have the fathers where there's no stability. They're hopping from one house to another, right? Creating these broken families. It is what it is. In other words, they haven't, as to say, laid any roots down anywhere. They aren't committed to anything or anyone. Then you have those fathers where they might have been married in a relationship and now they're married again, as you would say, the second family. And they're living in a household with the second family, whereas the first family might feel a certain way. But getting back to when I say having those conversations, sitting down, having the first family sit down and have those discussions with the second family, or whatever the case is. It can be difficult if you have not been honest in your relationship, if you have not been honest in your moving. Listen, this podcast is only so long, so I'm touching here and there. just to make the point that there are many layers to this. But whichever fits you, see where a difference or a change could be made, because it does affect the children, which are the ones that are the losers in this. They are the losers. So, other words, whatever your situation is, these unresolved wounds, they can follow these children into adulthood, affecting friendships, affecting their romantic relationships, affecting their parenting styles, and even their career decisions. Now, some may unknowingly repeat the same cycle they experienced. You know how you say you can't give what you don't have? And some have that mentality. They unknowingly repeat the same cycle they experienced growing up, becoming emotionally unavailable or absent in the lives of their own children. Y'all see it all the time. Matter of fact, this clip from Love and Hip Hop Miami, where Tip, she sat down with her father. And his confession, that was a drop the mic moment for me. His confession, what did he say? His father was not there. That's addictive patterns, y'all, being passed down from one generation to the next. So we want to make sure that we are breaking these generational curses, these things that are affecting our families, that's creating or causing pain. We want to pivot, do things differently. Now, we do know that there's another side to the story. Many individuals use their pain that they experienced as a child as a lesson rather than a life sentence, rather than an excuse, because I hear adults all the time, well, my daddy wasn't there or my mother wasn't there. So, hey, you grown. Let's make some changes. Let's not make it an excuse. They recognize what was missing in their own childhood and intentionally become the parent they wish they had. That's on the other side. That's on the contrary. That's someone that's trying to break that generational curse. Instead of repeating that pattern that they were familiar with, that they learned, that they was used to, they broke it or they break it, breaking that cycle, breaking that habit. They choose or have chosen presence over being absent. Again, 2 weeks ago, that was one of my titles. Be present, not just present. That's another facet. That's one thing, let me tell you, I despise a man or a woman that's in the house just taking up space, breathing air, and not doing their part as far as helping raising these children, raising these offsprings. I can't stand a sorry man or woman for that matter. So going back to choosing presence over absence, communication over silence, having those conversations, and involvement, that parental involvement over neglect. We see it all the times in the schools. Parents not showing up for the child. So then they're asking the teachers, the educators, adopt an athlete, adopt a student. And it's sad seeing it. Now, it's one thing. Things come up in your life, parents, to where you might be absent for your child's event, right? But for those parents that's never present, and that's what I hear. Oh, my mama, she don't never come out. Oh, my daddy, I don't even know who that is. I don't know where he is. Like, the stories is sad. It's sickening. Now, I do know and understand there are some times where women play games. And guess what? Men play games too. But again, going back to what I say, the children, they're the losers here. When y'all playing games, the kids are the one losing out. Then that's where you see they acting out. But this game here, called life, we want to learn from it. We want to learn lessons. And the lesson is that while an absent parent can leave a lasting impact, it does not have to define a child's future. Because that's what we're doing, y'all. We're stamping their future. We're shaping and molding their future. I just had a lady last week. She wanted to tell me when I stated that children learn from parents. She wanted to tell me that they don't. They learn from their friends. Respectfully, lady, I agree. But did you forget that before your child even stepped foot into a classroom or even had a teacher, that you was the child's first teacher? Right. Okay. Y'all, I don't get on here to argue with nobody. State the facts. Give opinions as a life coach. Give examples. Give strategies in hopes that someone gets something out of it. If it ain't for you, leave it alone. Again, your past does not have to define your future. Healing, self-awareness, and intentional parenting, it can transform or change generational pain into generational growth. Going back to what I just said last week, that growth and development, not just as children, as adults. And at the heart of it all, children need present parents. Not perfect parents, but present parents. Parents who show up on a consistent basis. Parents who listen to their child. Not just always want to tell, teach, but listen, because they have feelings. They have thoughts. You've heard the saying, from the mouth of a babe. I've learned from my child. As parents, we want to guide. We want to continue to support and make our children feel seen. Yes, seen and heard, valued, and definitely loved. Did you know the greatest gift that a mother or a father can give a child? It ain't material things. It's not those tangible things. And I've heard parents give their testimonies, have shared out that they used to dress their kids. They used to be GQ with the latest brand this, brand that. And after doing all of that, their child grew up and their child told them it wasn't about that. They wanted them to be present. That's where they lacked. They weren't present. They overcompensated with those material things, but wasn't present. My question for today's session: ask yourself, parents, are you repeating the patterns you experienced growing up? Now, if they positive, let's continue that. Because we always say addictive patterns can be positive as well as negative. So if they're positive, keep it up. But if they're negative, are you repeating that same pattern you experienced growing up? Or are you breaking generational curses? In other words, creating a new legacy for the next generation. Again, thanks for coming into the office for another session of Taureca Say It Again. Hopefully you got something out of it. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on YouTube, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. Have a good one.